Today is the launch of our giveaway. G'day guys, welcome back to MG Rebuild, and as I said in the intro, we are launching our giveaway today. The details of the prize and how you enter will be at the end of the video, so make sure you keep watching and so you can enter into that competition. So anyway, bit of a catch up once again. I've decided to perhaps stop doing a lot of the work on camera like I used to do. The simple reason, it really slows me down in getting this car finished. A lot of the work I want to do, I do overnight, so the lighting's not great. Also, it's just little bits and pieces here I do here and there, and that does not make good viewing content. Anyway, as you can see, it is an expression I said a lot in my last video. My cameraman kept on telling me that. I'm going to try and stop using that expression. So let's see how I go with it anyway. Elephant in the room, the windscreen. I have now done it. I was going to do this on camera, but I had a lot of issues in doing it. Some people actually have issues with putting the wrong length screws in certain areas on the frame. That wasn't the issue I had. My issue was I actually got a new piece of glass. I still had the original glass. It was in pretty good condition. The only problem is it's not classified as, well, it's not laminated. I can't register the car with that type of glass in the windscreen, so I had to get a new one. It cost me less than $100 Australian, so I wasn't too worried about that. And of course I had the original one, so I used that as a template. And anyway, so when I fitted it, I followed the instructions from Moss, and I used some of their packing, which is not that one, something else. And started at the bottom, fit the sides, and then fit the top. The top was about that much short. The glass was actually that far lower than the actual frame. And I thought, what have I done wrong? So pulled it all apart, done it again, same result. And I couldn't work it out. And so I had a bit of a brainwave, and I thought, no, I would do it the opposite way. I fit it to the top first, put the sides on, put the bottom on, and it's a perfect fit. I don't know what's caused it. Perhaps I was fitting the glass in too deep into the bottom channel initially. I'm guessing that's possibly the reason here in doing that, but it now fits really well. Also, for the people who are going to do their own glass, use a product, well, we all know the product, WD-40. That makes the glass and the rubber just slide in so much easier than trying to do it dry. Doing it dry, you'll just have absolute nightmares in trying to get it in there. A little bit of lubrication always helps. We all know that little bit of a saying from other parts of our life. So that's what I've used, and it's come up really well. Now I've also fitted the windscreen wiper motor and the wipers. I have got an arm, because this is an early model TD. The later models have the wiper motor in the middle. The early ones had it in front of the passenger, where they can actually crack their head open if you ever have an accident. So they moved in the middle. This one, there is actually a rod that goes in between the two wiper arms. I've got a brand new one here somewhere. I've misplaced it at the moment, but I will find it and we'll hook that up later on. Anyway, I've also used the Moss wiring. Just that grey one there. And in there you can see there's three wires. There's actually the two main wires, the red and the yellow, and then that copper one there. That's the actual outer sheath. Now, Moss say, apparently they do, I haven't actually read it, but I've heard about it. I say to use that, actually, the outer sheath as the earth and one of the wires as the power. But I've also read that those other two wires are fine, and just ignore that. I haven't actually hooked it up to power as yet, so I've actually just left that out hanging in the breeze at the moment, just to make sure that the other two wires are sufficient to run that motor. So I'm not 100% sure what amperage it runs at, and whether those wires will be heavy duty enough for them to actually run the motor without overheating and burning out or anything like that. Now, in my last video, I was talking about mounting that actual little bracket, or sorry, the little plate, main plate on there, and how to use those tiny little rivets. It's actually quite a simple little thing to do. All you got to do is obviously drill the holes in the framework, put in a little chock in behind, in between the actual channel, just to stop it from collapsing, and then just tap away with a little hammer. You don't need to use it very heavily, just a nice little few little taps. And the style of rivet was actually like almost like a little screw, and sort of expands a little bit and comes up really well. As you can see there, I've said it again, it has mounted it quite well, and I'm very happy with the results. I thought it was going to be a bit of a challenge, but it did exactly what I was hoping it would do. Basically, I was just overthinking the process. So sometimes it's just suck it and see, or just go for it and don't worry about the consequences sometimes. Well, you do, but anyway, it worked out for me this time, so I'm very happy with that. Now, also in the last video, I think it was saying something like I have a problem, and I was having trouble getting into the seat. Now, what I've done, and what a few comments have been saying, is my seats are overstuffed, especially this back one. Now, the coils, or the springs inside this are not the original ones. My original ones were, I don't believe they were actually salvageable. They had rusted. I think about 4 or 5 of the actual coil springs had broken, and the mesh that was covering it was just disintegrating. Now, with the original spring set, they are contoured like that, for the actual the driver and the passenger's back to mold into. This one I bought is basically dead flat. So, and that has given people the impression that I have overstuffed it. No, I haven't. Basically, I've got the springs. I've got a very thin bit of felt just to protect the springs from going through anything, and then there's about a 1-inch foam. I don't have any lying around to show you. It's a 1-inch foam. It's fairly dense, but it's just to give it a little bit of comfort. And then obviously the actual cover itself goes on there. So it's not overstuffed. It's just what I was working with. So that's just how it is. I have also taken out some of the actual padding in the seat base. I took out about 3/4 of an inch. Here it is here. I took that much out of each seat base to lower it down. I would like to have taken out a little bit more, but I felt in doing so it was going to make it a little bit uncomfortable on the old rear end. So it would have been good to go a little bit lower, because my line of sight was actually through the actual top of the windscreen frame, making it a little bit hard to see. But I'm now a little bit lower, and of course that foam will collapse a little bit over time as well, so it will improve, hopefully. Another thing was my steering shaft. I finally managed to get it out. I had to use a slide hammer to extract it, and there we go. I'm not going to get it in any further in than what it was. It won't insert all the way. The spline's about that much showing, when it should perhaps be about that much. So I'm not worried about, 3/4 of an inch. Look, I don't think it's going to make much difference to what I've got to do. It is what it is, and the amount of extra room I'm going to gain is almost basically none, and the amount of work I've got to do to get that is enormous. So I'm not going to worry about that. I can still lift the shaft up and down, and of course I've got a smaller steering wheel. I think it's about a 15-inch steering wheel to go in there as well. So that will make life a little bit easier. And once again, if I can't fit in it or can't drive it comfortably, then I'm just going to have to sell it. Which is a bit of a shame, but I'll just see how I go. Plus, I'm going to go on a diet. I've got to lose a bit of weight, I've been told. So see how that goes. Now I've also been working on the inner dash because that parcel I've been waiting for from the US has finally arrived. It only took 9 months, and we all know the story of that. It was just a nightmare. But anyway, it's in now. In that parcel were some plans on how to correct. This is not the original one. This is one that the previous owner had made, but there was a few little problems with it. There were some cutouts. There were some extra pieces put on there. It wasn't going to work for me. It's not. It just wasn't going to work. So I've added a couple of little checkouts there. I've got to put another one here somewhere, and that's for the mounting screws for the center console on the outer dash. I've also had to cut out a piece there because the actual tacho was hitting on it. It wouldn't seat properly, and of course a little gauge hole there as well. Now that's the outer dash. Now with that gauge hole there, that's one of the questions I asked in the last video in regards to going for a dual gauge here for the oil pressure and water temperature, or use the beautifully restored one I've got for the water temperature and put it there. I've decided to go there. The dual gauge was going to need a fair bit of work. I got it, and it's the capillary is broken in it, and it still needed to be restored. So I thought I would go with the gauge that I already got. And like I said, I actually really like the look of that gauge too. It may not be the most convenient one to have because you've got an extra gauge in the dash and you've got to look to your right instead of to your left, or depending on if you're driving on the right hand side or left hand side. So, but I think it's going to be okay. So that's just going to sit there nicely. Just roughly like that. And we'll go from there. Okay, another thing I have been working on, well, just started to work on, is the fitting of the bonnet / hood. It's just sitting there. I've mounted the front. The back's not mounted, but I do have the catches on both sides. This end here needs a lot of adjustment. You can see that it is sticking up quite a way, and the front is almost overlapping the radiator shroud. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to push the back end over that way a little bit to somehow get it to fit. But that's something I'll be working on, and once that's done I can then put the headlight buckets on as well, because as most T-Series owners know, the headlight buckets can easily get damaged by the corners of the hood, the bonnet. So I'm leaving those to last before I put them on, because I spent a truckload of money getting those restored. I don't want them damaged. So, you know, don't want to have to spend any extra money where I don't need to. A couple of episodes ago, I fitted these indicators, and in one of the parcels, actually the parcel that was missing, had the orange or the amber, the light covers for that. So that's looking a lot better. I didn't mind the white ones. But because I had these ones coming and I needed the white ones for the front, I decided to swap them over, and they come up all right. It's a different type of profile to the originals, whether it's more like a chrome ring and a bit of a dome fitting over the glass, or the glass is domed. These stick out a little bit and then are still domed, but still look period, I think. So that's something else I've been doing. Okay, it's giveaway time, and what I have done this time, instead of having a t-shirt or something, I decided to use a dash cam as a giveaway. Now this dash cam, it's going to be great for your MG, your T-Series, or whatever you might want to put it in. It also comes with a Power Magic Pro. Now this will stop the actual battery from being discharged while it's been parked or anything like that, or from this anyway. So there's a few things you can actually use that for as well. Now this is an open one. I will send you a brand new sealed one, whoever the winner will be. Now, it's just a little cap. that's the unit there. It's nice and discreet. It's won't look out of place on a T-Series or anything else like that. So it's a nice, small, compact unit. It does also have, which is one problem that a lot of them don't have, it has impact detection or motion detection. So you can see there's a quick list of all the details on it. So in the actual dash cam itself, it does come with all the wiring. So it's got a cigarette lighter plug there, plus also a micro SD card. One's a 16 gig. It can go up to 128 gig as well, so you can obviously expand that. And with the actual Magic Pro, you've got the opposite end. So you might be able to use this. Now, don't quote me on this. You might be able to hook this up to a positively earthed car, and then that will actually be your standard outlet anyway. So that's something that whoever wins that can work that out and let me know how it goes. Okay guys, just a very quick demonstration on how to enter this competition. So just click on the link that's in the description below the video. It will take you to this page, and from there it's very simple. Just click on enter the giveaway, put in your name, email address, and then save. It's as simple as that. It comes up here, so you've got one entry and one up there as well. So that's all you need to do. Just remember, it's one entry per person. That's just to make it fair for everyone. And you must be a subscriber of the channel to be able to be a valid entry as well. So good luck. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and just remember, if you aren't a subscriber, you can't enter the competition, or the giveaway I should say. So if you want to try and win that prize, make sure you are a subscriber, and you can certainly enter then. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell as well, and also drop me a comment if if you've got any ideas or ask any questions. I'm more than happy to respond. I actually do respond to all comments that I do receive, so that'd be great. Now, it has taken me 2 months between drinks at the moment since the last video. I do apologise, but like I said before, or in previous episodes, life does get in the way. Things do happen. I'm just recovering from a couple of minor surgeries at the moment, just nothing major, but that has slowed me up, or I haven't been able to do any manual work on the car more than what you've already seen. So anyway, that's a wrap for today's video, and don't forget to enter the giveaway.